Okay, let's go. Number 7. You enter another universe. In 1935, Albert Einstein and his colleague Nathan Rosen were working through the math of black holes when they found something neither of them was looking for. Their equations were not describing a dead end, they were describing a tunnel, a passage that went in on one side and came out somewhere else entirely. They called it an Einstein-Rosen bridge, spent years hoping it was just a quirk in the math, and never fully resolved what it meant. The question it left behind is still open. If a black hole is a door, what is on the other side? As you fall in, the last thing you see is the entire universe collapsing into a single bright ring behind you. Every star and galaxy squeezed into one shrinking circle of light as the black hole swallows your view. And then it is gone. And then something else appears. The sky on the other side is not black. It pulses. There are colors moving through it that have no name in any human language, not variations of blue or red or purple, but something your eyes receive and your brain simply cannot file anywhere. There are structures in the distance, enormous and slow-moving, that look almost like clouds but fold through themselves in a way that clouds do not, turning inside out and reforming without ever breaking apart. The ground, if it is a ground, radiates light from below, rather than reflecting it from above. Shadows fall in the wrong direction, or in every direction, or in none. And the silence is not empty, it has a texture to it, a kind of pressure against your ears that is not quite sound but is not quite nothing either. Your body is still there. Your lungs still pull, but everything they are pulling at is different, and your brain is running as fast as it can trying to make sense of a reality it was never built for. You fell into a black hole expecting darkness. What you got was a universe that has been here the whole time, just on the other side of a door nobody knew how to open. And it may not just look different, it may run on completely different laws. Gravity may behave in ways that would be impossible here. Time may not move forward at all, or space may have more directions than the three you have always known. Matter, light, distance, motion, all the rules your universe used to build reality may stop meaning anything the moment you arrive. This would not just be another place, it would be a different version of existence itself. Number 6. You get stretched into an endless loop. In the 1960s, a mathematician named Roy Kerr worked out the equations for what a spinning black hole looks like on the inside. And what he found was so strange that a lot of physicists at the time simply refused to believe it was real. Almost every black hole in the universe spins. And spinning black holes do not behave the same way as still ones. The inside of a spinning black hole is not a single point you fall toward. It is a ring, and the space around that ring does something that has no equivalent anywhere in your normal life. It loops. But before you even get to the looping, something else happens first. Something that physicists have a name for, and the name alone should tell you everything. They call it spaghettification. As you fall toward the center, the pull of gravity is not equal across your body. The side of you that is closer to the black hole gets pulled harder than the side that is further away. At first, it just feels like a stretch, like something is gently tugging your feet down while your head stays put. Then, it gets stronger. Your body starts to lengthen. Your torso pulls apart from your legs. Your arms thin out. The molecules in your skin are being yanked in opposite directions with a force that keeps growing with every meter you fall. You are being stretched like dough being rolled out on a table, thinner and longer and thinner and longer, until what used to be a person is something more like a thread, a long, continuous ribbon of atoms that was once a human being, pulled into a single glowing strand falling toward the center. And here is the part that makes it even stranger. Because gravity also bends light, and you are now inside one of the most curved regions of space in the universe. The light coming off the back of your own stretched body curves around and comes back to your eyes. You can see yourself. Not a reflection, not a shadow, but your own elongated form wrapping around the space ahead of you. You see the back of your own head floating in front of you, stretched and distorted, looping back around through the warped geometry of the space you are falling through. And then you see it again. And again. Your own image, lapping you, coming back around with every loop. There is no way out of this. The space itself is looping your path back to the beginning with every pass. And you make that loop again and again, always arriving at the same point, always falling through the same stretch of curved space, always catching another glimpse of your own distorted reflection ahead of you in the dark. Number 5. You get stuck falling forever. Stephen Hawking, one of the most brilliant minds of the 20th century, spent years working on what actually happens inside a black hole. And what he found was not a crash, not an explosion, not an impact. What he found is something that most people find far more disturbing than any of those things. There is no bottom. Picture yourself stepping off the edge of the black hole. You start falling. And here is where it gets strange. You keep falling. A minute passes, an hour. You look around and there is nothing, just darkness in every direction, and you are still moving, still dropping, still going deeper. You wait for the impact that never comes. You look back to see if you can still see the way out, but it is already gone. And no matter how long you fall, no matter how deep you go, there is always more black hole below you. Your stomach is doing what stomachs do when you drop, that lurching feeling you get in an elevator. Except it never stops. You get used to it for a second, and then you remember it is not going to stop. Ever. Outside, while you fall, the entire universe is living and dying. Stars burn out. New ones form. Civilizations rise and collapse. Billions of years tick by. Planets cool. Suns expand and swallow their moons. And you are still in there, still falling, still moving through the same silent dark. Your arms still out. Your eyes still open. Still waiting. The fall that started the moment you crossed the edge just keeps going, deeper and deeper, into a black hole that has no floor, no wall, no ceiling, and no end. Just you, just the dark, just the falling. Number 4. You split into multiple versions of yourself. In 1957, a Princeton student named Hugh Everett wrote down an idea so strange that his own professors told him to tone it down before anyone would publish it. His idea was this. Every time something in the universe can go two different ways, it goes both ways. Not one or the other, both. And each outcome becomes its own separate branch of reality, running alongside the others, completely unaware of them. Black hole is one of the most extreme places in the universe, a place where the rules of physics get pushed past every limit we know. And some researchers believe that when you fall in, the black hole cannot settle on a single outcome for you, so it runs all of them at once. One version of you never makes it past the edge. The moment that version crosses the boundary, it hits a wall of radiation so hot and so dense that it is gone in an instant. Another version passes through the edge without feeling anything unusual at all and keeps falling into the dark. That version is fully conscious. It is floating in silence, looking around at nothing, wondering what happens next, completely unaware that anything split at all. That version is still in there right now, drifting. A third version ends up somewhere that does not match either of those. Something about the geometry of the black hole bends that version's path sideways in a way we do not have good equations for yet. Where it goes, nobody knows. Not into the black hole, not back out, just somewhere else entirely. 3 different outcomes. 3 different versions of the same person, each one fully real, each one having a completely different experience at the exact same moment, and not one of them knows the others exist. Number 3. You get copied onto the edge while another you falls in. In 1993, physicist Leonard Susskind got into an argument with Stephen Hawking that lasted almost 20 years. It started with a simple question. When something falls into a black hole, does it get destroyed completely? Hawking said yes. Susskind said absolutely not. And the answer Susskind eventually came up with is one of the creepiest ideas in all of modern physics. Here is what he thinks happens. The moment you fall into a black hole, 2 things happen at the same time. The first is simple. You fall in, you keep going, you are inside. From your point of view, nothing dramatic happens as you cross the edge. You just keep falling into the dark. The second thing is this. Everything that makes you who you are, the exact arrangement of every atom in your body, every memory, every scar, every habit, every thought you have ever had, gets printed onto the surface of the black hole like a photograph. A perfect copy of you, pressed flat onto the outside, frozen at the moment you went in. So right now, there are 2 of you. One is outside, stamped onto the black hole's surface like a tattoo, preserved in total stillness for as long as the black hole exists. The other is inside, falling deeper into darkness, completely unaware that a copy of them just got left behind at the door. Both versions are real. Both versions are completely you. They just can never meet, never speak, never know about each other. The universe split you in two the moment you crossed the line, kept one copy as a receipt, and let the other one keep going. You are in there falling right now, and you do not even know that the edge is still holding your ghost. Number 2. You fall into all moments of your life at once. In 1968, physicist Brandon Carter was charting the inside of a black hole on paper when he mapped something that physicists still argue about today. What his diagram showed was that inside a black hole, time stops working the way it does everywhere else. And when time breaks, what replaces it is something no human brain was built to process. Here is the simplest way to put it. Right now, your life is a line. You are at one point on it. Behind you is every memory, every version of yourself you used to be. Ahead of you is everything that has not happened yet. You move along the line 1 second at a time, always forward, always away from the past and toward the future. Inside a black hole, that line gets crumpled into a ball. Past and future do not exist as separate things anymore. They are all just here, all at once, right now. What does that actually feel like? Imagine you are falling in the dark and suddenly you are 6 years old again, standing in a kitchen, but you are also sitting in a classroom at age 14, and you are also at the worst moment of your adult life, and you are also somewhere you have not been yet. And all of these are not memories and not visions. They are just happening, all simultaneously, all equally present, all equally real, with no sequence, no order, no way to know which one you are supposed to be in. The first day of school and the last day of your life pressing against each other in the same instant. Every person you ever loved, every place you ever stood, every ordinary Tuesday afternoon, all collapsed into a single point. Not remembered, lived. All of it, right now, all at the same time. Number 1. You become part of a new Big Bang. In 1992, physicist Lee Smolin published an idea that almost sounds like a myth. Not because it is made up, but because it is the kind of thing that used to only exist in myths. He was looking at what happens at the very center of a black hole, the point where matter gets squeezed tighter and tighter until it cannot go any further. And he noticed something that nobody had quite put together before. That point, the most extreme place in the known universe, looks almost identical to the moment just before the Big Bang. Same temperature, same density, same conditions, the exact same starting point. So here is the thought that follows from that. What if it is not just similar? What if it is the same thing? What if every black hole in our universe is, at its center, giving birth to a brand new universe of its own, one that inflates and expands in a direction our universe cannot reach or observe? What if falling into a black hole is not dying, but becoming the first moment of something else entirely? Picture yourself falling in. The darkness closes around you. The pressure builds until the idea of pressure does not even apply anymore. And then, in a way that has no human equivalent, what you are made of stops being you and becomes everything. Every atom that was your body, every molecule that was your breath, every particle that was your thought gets converted into the seed of a new reality. A few million years later, in that reality, clouds of gas start to pull together under gravity. Slowly, painfully slowly, they heat up. Stars are born. Life begins. Creatures start to evolve. A whole new universe started here. It started with you. You did not fall into a black hole and disappear. You fell into a black hole and became the beginning of everything. That's it for today. Subscribe for more.